The new official trailer for the Peaky Blinders movie has been released online, and for me it's a very promising new look at the film, setting up what looks to be a perfect conclusion to the story of Cillian Murphy's Tommy Shelby. It's clear that we're getting something slightly different, a film that still could bring everything together but restore what we loved about the original seasons from the TV series. Add on what looks to be a set of great performances from Cillian Murphy, Barry Keoghan, Rebecca Ferguson, Sophie Rundle and Tim Roth, and everything looks like it's going to pay off. So in this video, I'm going to be giving you my breakdown of the new trailer for the Peaky Blinders film and my current thoughts towards what was shown. Before I get into it though, if you want to see more videos on the upcoming film, then don't forget to support this upload by giving it a like rating and subscribing to the channel. But without further ado, let's dive into the new trailer for Peaky Blinders: The Immortal Man. So starting with my breakdown of the new trailer, from the very first frame, it's clear that this film isn't just a continuation of the series, it's a transformation. The trailer opens with a haunting image of Tommy Shelby, alone through his foggy mansion, as if he's drifting between the world of the living and the dead. He's a man scarred by war, hollowed out by loss, and haunted by the ghosts of everything he has done. The voiceover seems to be of Rebecca Ferguson's Cowlo, reminding him that he's a man now forced to confront his past and the deaths that took place because of him. She says that he abandoned his kingdom and his son. As the trailer transitions into wartime Birmingham, we see the devastation as buildings lie in ruins and the once thriving streets of Small Heath look like the aftermath of an apocalypse. The trailer uses this imagery to make a powerful point in that the world has moved on without Tommy. The empire he built has crumbled and the place he once ruled with absolute authority is now unrecognisable. In the mention of Tommy's son though, we do get the reveal that Barry Keoghan is playing him. Ada appears on screen and says that his son Duke Shelby is running the Peaky Blinders like it's 1919 all over again. Ada has always been the voice of reason in the Shelby family, the one person who sees the bigger picture. Duke Shelby then steps out of a car surrounded by young gang members, wearing a razor-sharp suit that echoes Tommy's earlier days. But Duke seems less driven by strategy and looks hungrier for power, chaos, and to carve out his own legacy, even if it means burning down what came before. The trailer shows him beating a man, leading a violent raid, and leading the gang that once belonged to Tommy. Tommy himself says that he can't help him as he's not the same man that he once was. The political tension then ramps up, with the trailer hinting at Duke's involvement with Germany during World War II. We see him in a meeting with Tim Roth's Beckett, showing that Duke isn't just running the Peaky Blinders now, but that he's aligning himself with forces that could tear the country apart. And that puts Tommy in an impossible position. He spent his entire life navigating political minefields, but this time the threat isn't a rival gang or a corrupt politician. It is his own son. The trailer frames this as the emotional core of the story, in a father forced to confront the monster he unknowingly created. We then see Tommy enter the garrison, and those younger members at the bar don't quite know who Tommy Shelby is, but those older folk behind the bar clearly do. It's probably my favourite moment from the new trailer, and the general context of the film's setup, having an older Tommy try to help his rageful son during a time of severe tension and growing war, really seems like it's going to work well in movie form. And this is even more evident when the trailer then erupts into a montage of violence, chaos, and classic Peaky Blinders intensity. Gunfights break out, explosions light up the night sky, and during them, Tommy delivers the line that defines the entire film. He says, "Once I nearly got everything, but nearly is not enough." It sounds like more of a confession from him to his own son, the admission of a man who knows he built an empire only to watch it crumble. Essentially, Tommy Shelby may be the immortal man, but immortality comes with a price. The film is not about the end of the Peaky Blinders, it's about the end of Tommy Shelby, the end of his myth, and the end of a man who once controlled Birmingham with nothing but a razor-lined cap and an iron will. When Tommy and Duke finally come face to face in the garrison, the footage frames that line from Tommy about nearly getting everything quite well. It almost feels like he's warning his son about what the path he's on leads to. While there's the aspect of the old world versus the new, and the man who built the empire versus the man who's tearing it apart, I feel like it suggests that we're going to get more of an internal reckoning. Tommy comes back because he doesn't want his son to put himself on a worse path than him. He truly matters to him because his son is his legacy, and that future seems to be darker than imagined. So overall, what did I think of the new trailer for the Peaky Blinders movie? Well, I think it's everything that fans could have hoped for and more. What immediately stands out is how confidently it announces the film's identity. This isn't a rehash of the series, it feels like a bold cinematic evolution of the world that Stephen Knight built. From the opening frames, the trailer radiates a sense of scale and maturity that elevates the Peaky Blinders universe into something mythic. The visual language looks richer, the atmosphere heavier, and the emotional tone far more introspective. It's clear that the creative team isn't just continuing Tommy Shelby's story because they're deepening it, sharpening it, and pushing it into territory that feels genuinely fresh. One of the most impressive aspects for me is how it balances the spectacle with the character. The cinematography is stunning, showing smoky skylines, wartime chaos, and beautifully composed shots that feel immersive. But none of it overshadows the emotional core. Cillian Murphy's presence is magnetic, even in the brief glimpses we do get of him, and he communicates a lifetime of weight with just his eyes. There's a fragility to Tommy now, a sense that he's confronting the consequences of everything he's done, and the trailer leans into that vulnerability without diminishing his power. It's rare for a long-running character to feel this renewed, but Murphy makes it look effortless in the scenes on display. He feels older, wiser, and more haunted, and that makes him more compelling than ever as a character. You can feel the years gone by just with his eyes, the ghosts in his voice, and the sense that this is a man finally ready to face the consequences of everything he built. The trailer also does a fantastic job introducing the film's new energy through Duke Shelby. Barry Keoghan is an inspired casting choice, and the footage makes that immediately obvious. He brings a raw, unpredictable intensity that contrasts beautifully with Tommy's controlled, internalized turmoil. What's refreshing is that the trailer doesn't reduce Duke to a simple antagonist or a carbon copy of his father. Instead, it positions him as a force of nature, charismatic, dangerous, and undeniably magnetic. His presence injects the story with a youthful volatility that feels like exactly the kind of spark the franchise needed for its transition to the big screen. You can feel the tension between the old guard and the new generation, and the trailer frames that dynamic with real emotional weight. Another standout element is the film's tone. The trailer strikes a perfect balance between the gritty crime drama that fans expect and a more mythic, almost operatic sensibility. The music, the editing, and the imagery feel larger than life without losing the grounded working class grit that defines Peaky Blinders. There's a sense of finality in the way the trailer is constructed, as if the film is not just another chapter, but the culmination of everything the series have been building toward. The stakes feel higher, the emotions feel deeper, and the world feels more dangerous than ever. It's rare for a trailer to communicate that level of thematic clarity, but this one does it with confidence. And on top of this, it did all of that without spoiling too much or relying on cheap nostalgia. It trusts the audience, giving us mood, tension, and interesting looks at the main characters, things that made Peaky Blinders special in the first place. The glimpses of the action are intense, the emotional beats are powerful, and everything feels measured, deliberate, and purposeful. What makes this all feel like the perfect ending for Cillian Murphy's character is the emotional honesty baked into every frame. Tommy isn't returning as the untouchable mastermind who always stays 3 moves ahead. He's returning as a man who's lived through unimaginable trauma, who has carried the weight of his family, his sins, and his legacy for decades. The trailer embraces that history instead of running away from it. Throughout the series, he was treated almost like a supernatural force, the man who couldn't die, the man who always found a way, and the man who walked through gunfire untouched. But the trailer strips that mythology down to its bones. It shows a Tommy Shelby who is no longer immortal in the literal sense, but immortal in the tragic Shakespearean sense. His legend has outgrown him, his choices have shaped generations, and now the film seems ready to explore what happens when a man realizes that the myth he created has taken a life of its own. That's a far more meaningful conclusion than simply watching him win another battle or outsmart another enemy. So ultimately, what makes this feel like the perfect ending for Cillian Murphy's Tommy Shelby is that it doesn't try to rewrite who he is. It doesn't sanitize him, redeem him, or even punish him. Instead, it gives him a final chapter rooted in reflection, legacy, and consequence. It allows him to confront the empire he built, the family he fractured, and the myth he became. And it gives Murphy the chance to close the book on one of the most iconic characters of his career, with the emotional depth, quiet intensity, and tragic humanity that only an actor like him can bring. It looks like the rare film by Netflix that has been made with genuine care, not just for the franchise, but for the characters and the audience that has followed them for years. It feels ambitious without being bloated, emotional without being sentimental, and stylish without losing its core edge. If the film does deliver on even half of what the trailer promises, then I think we're looking at something truly special. It's the kind of trailer that doesn't just get you excited for the movie, because it reminds you on why you fell in love with the world of Peaky Blinders in the very first place. But that was my video discussing the new trailer for Peaky Blinders: The Immortal Man, and why I think the film is shaping up to be the perfect ending for Tommy Shelby. Overall, the latest footage only adds to my excitement for the film, and I can't wait to see how they end the story of Tommy Shelby within the big screen format. If this trailer is a sign of what's to come, then I trust that Stephen Knight & Co can give us a great conclusion. I'm going to be doing videos on the film when it releases in the coming weeks, so look out for those, and let me know down below in the comment section what your thoughts were towards the new trailer. For much more videos and news on the Peaky Blinders movie, then subscribe to the channel and turn on your notifications. Also, if you enjoyed this video, remember to leave a like rating and follow me on social media via the links in the description. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I've been Cortex, and as always, make some noise.